Ois Gimel. So the Rebbe explained how the main Gilui La'asid Love it comes through the Avodah of Torah mitzvahs that will take place. Kimitzvah Tzritzenecha, Shom, over there, the time of the Beis Hamikdash Hashlishi. The Rebbe went through the different madreges from Adam Arishain in Gan Eden, and then in the time of going in, building the going into Eretz Yisrael, the time of the Beis Hamikdash Rishon, Beis Hamikdash Sheni, and ultimately the Beis Hamikdash Lishi La'osid Love, that will be the ultimate. So in order to understand the great revelation that will be through the mitzvahs that we will do, the La'avdo, the Shomra, that will be taking place, La'osid Love, we will understand it from the great Avodah that we do today in the time of Golus, the greatness that will give us a picture of what the Giluyim will be, lost and loving. Gimel, v'hinei koydel ha'ilu sheyi lost and loving, the great advantage, elevation that will be in the future to come. Yuvan will understand it. Migoydel hafloas ha'avodash bizman hagolus, from the great and the special, wondrous service that we do in the time of exile, Shalifneza. Since in the Zman Hagolus that precedes, will understand the great Avodah, that will give us an understanding in the following, that what follows the Avodah of Zman Hagolus, the Avodah of La'osid Lovei, how great that will be from the preparation of the Avodah, which precedes it in the time of Golus, which is Hachona v'Agdom, which is a preparation and introduction before the Geula Hasidim. Hine Yodua Maimer Kveit Kedushas Admur Hazokin B'Shem Abel Shemper. For it's known the saying of the Alter Rebbe in the name of the Baal Shem Tov. Ala Posik, the Posik says, Kain Bakoidesh Chazi Sicha. So the Posik says, likewise, when in holiness I will see you. So the Baal Shem Tov says, Halvai Bizman Habayis Chazi Sicha. That I wish that the time of the Beis Hamikdash, I would see you the way we are seeing you in the time of Golus, which we're speaking, amplifying the great level of the Zman HaGolus, that halavai, that in the time of the Bayis should be chazisicha, like in the time of Golus. And also, as it's known, the Pirush in the meaning of the verse, Va'ish Moshe Onov Me'oid Mikol Ha'odam Asher Al Pnei Ha'adama. So the pasuk says that Moshe was the most humblest from all people on the face of the world. So it's explained that Shabi Yoiser Hu Ksharo Moshe Sadir Diksa the Mashiach. That mostly this was when Moshe Rabbeinu saw the generation of the hills of Mashiach. There will be many blocks, obscurities, etc. And still, notwithstanding all the distraction, the halamas and astodim, in Iksa the Mashiach, Yilmudu Torah, they'll learn Torah, Yekayim mitzvahs, and they'll fill mitzvahs ba'ifin the ma'isiv ha'ilach ma'isiv ha'ir. In such a way, they keep on growing up and keep on growing, bringing more light. So that was what Moshe Rabbeinu saw that caused him to become humble. Hinaveda zu of the Yidden in the Ikus of the Mashiach, Paula Novo Bitleitz Moshe. This impacted a humility and a self-negation by Moshe. He felt humbled next to this generation, how they're doing the mitzvahs and the avodah keep on going, notwithstanding that they're in in the darkness. So many halamas v'astodim, and they still keep on going. So the fact that Moshe felt humble it's not just that this is a feeling, exaggeration, imagination. Moshe Emes. Moshe is true. And Amr Azal, and our sages tell us the reason that when Moshe Rabbeinu midas emes ra'ah, he saw the measure of truth. So when Moshe Rabbeinu was humble, it wasn't just an exaggeration, humility. It was something that he really saw that, and is really an advantage to the avodah of Zman HaGolus, which causes Moshe Rabbeinu to be bottled, to be humble for them. How they move him is there. Shekein hu be'emes, so that is actually the truth. Sheyesh lamaylo be'avodah d'Zman HaGolus la'gabe avodas Moshe, that there is an advantage in the service of the time of exile, even relative to the service of Moshe. So this tells us how great the hachone for Mashiach, the hachone for Losid Lovei, how great this avodah is, that Moshe Rabbeinu was in this battle, was humbled because of that. So now we can only imagine from this is the preparation, that what's going to be in the Geula Hasidah. So from this we understand, the great advantage that will be in the future to come. Since that revelation of Losid is coming after and through this elevated type of service that the Yidden are doing in the Zman HaGolus, in Iksha, the Meshicha, in the Lomis V'Esteirim, from this we can only imagine how much the avodah will be, the elevation will be after the Geula actually comes. This gives us an understanding why we're sitting in Golus for so long. The reason for this lengthy Golus, this lengthy exile. Since this exile is an introduction to this tremendous level, this great level of revelation, which is higher than everything that we've experienced. Go through all the levels, in which Hashem placed Adam Harishon in Gan Eden. This is higher than that. Mimatan Torah that came after that, higher than that. V'bayis Rishon in the first Beis Hamikdash, and Bayis Sheni, second Beis Hamikdash. So we're coming to a higher level that we have to come Losid Lovei. So it takes a long time. That's why we have all the L'cheina Golus Ubarichas G'dei L'kazu. That's why this exile is such a great lengthy exile. B'dei shal yidei avodas b'nei Yisrael b'meshach zman hagolus. So that through the service of the Bnei Yisrael during the duration of the time of Golus, yagiu bekorev mamish l'bayis hashlishi. So very soon they will reach the third Beis Hamikdash. Shu gilu nayla b'yosef. That's even a very much a greater elevation, this third Beis Hamikdash, which is the revelation of Betach, Bodot, and Yaakov, that they will be to the level of Bodot, will the Yaakov, that's where we will reach, which is the Nachla B'limit Sorim, the unlimited inheritance of Yaakov, which is a non-boundary inheritance, which means an eternal inheritance, which is the Beis Hamikdash Hashlishi. Now the Rebbe is going to explain. So we have this tremendous level of Bodod, Yeshva Bodod. Bodod is the highest of levels, the Maila. The Rebbe is going to say this is from the level of Atik. So it needs to come down, Yeshva. It comes from Eicha. The Rebbe is going to touch the Aleph is the top level, comes down to the Yud Spheres, comes down to Koi to the Spheres Hamalchus. The Rebbe explains. Bine Bichdei. So it's from Eicha we get Bodod. You get the level of Bodod Yoshva to come down. Bine Bichdei Shebechinas Bodod. Yumshach lamata, in order for the level of Bodod to be extended below. Ubeoifen the Yashva, in a way of his Yashvas to settle down. Tzricha liyos ha'hamshocha ba'madreges the seder ishtalshus. So you need to have it drawn down within the steps, the levels of the orders of ishtalshus. To get the level of Bodod to become Yashva, we needed to come down in the Seder Hishtalshlus. No, Mashakosuf, Eicha Yoshva Badod. Eicha, through Eicha Yoshva, you settle the Bodod, the Bodod Betach, and Yaakov, the highest Madrege, to bring it down. Sham Shoches Bechinas Bodod Lamata. To draw down the level of Bodod below, Uboif the Yoshva, that it should be settled bis Yashvus, who alidei Eicha Yoshva Badod. The Aleph of Eicha can represent different levels, like we have in the word Echad. So Echad, Hashem Echad, Shema Yisrael Hashem Echad. So over there, the Echad is higher than the Ches and the Dalet. Here, the Aleph is higher than the Yud. After the Aleph comes the Yud. The Yud is the Esesphiris. So it's even a higher Aleph. The Hine, Aleph Revezes Lekama Dargis Ze Al Gabi Ze. The letter Aleph hints to several steps, one higher than the other. Ukamoy Aleph the Echad. So you have the Aleph in the word Echad. So that's an Aleph Shalamayla Meches V'Dalet. You have the Ches and Dalet that follow. Aleph comes before. What is the Ches V'Dalet? The Ches, the 8, is Zayin Rikim Oretz, the 7 heavens, the 7 skies, and the earth. That's Ches. Dalet represent Ruchas Hoilam. So the Aleph is Aluf Shalom, the master of the world. That's one level, but there's even a high level of Aleph. Aleph, the Ayeko, but the Aleph of Ayeko is Aleph L'maylam Yud. It's Aleph which is higher than Yud. L'maylam me'inyan esas Sfiris. This is higher than even 10 Sfiris. Now, 10 Sfiris we have the way there in Atzilus, but you have also the esas Sfiris Gnuzim Matzilim in the level of Keser. V'yesh loymar l'maylo gam esas Sfiris Agnuzis. When we say higher than the Yud, it's even the 10 Sfiris that are hidden. That's even a higher Aleph. So that Aleph nimshach ba'yud shebayekov. So it comes down into the Yud of the Yaakov, where Remes le'eser Sfiris da'atzilus, which hints to the 10 Sfiris da'atzilus. That's what it comes down to. It can't hint just to the Yud Sfiris agnuzis, because then it wouldn't be coming down. We're trying to get it down Yoshva. So over here, on the way down, it is coming down to the Yud Sfiris of Atzilus. And then it comes Aleph Yud to Koi. Of the word Da'ayeh Ko, the Chof Hei, the Koi. Shekoi al B'chinas HaMalchus. This references Malchus. Koi is Malchus. Ubefrat Malchus K'voi Sheshayeches Kvar. Especially, you have Malchus the way it's in Atzilus, and then you have Malchus as it's a source for coming down to Biyah, and it comes down to Biyah. So Koi is connected to Malchus, especially to Malchus as it's connected already, or also as it's actually dressed up in Biyah. That's the level of Koi. Koi is Malchus connected to Biyah, coming down to Biyah. Because that's the difference between Ze and Koi. As it's known, the difference between when we say Kol HaNeviim Nisnabu V'Koi Omar Hashem and Neis V'Alei Moshe, Ze is a Riyah at a higher level, and Koi Omar Hashem, it's a lower level. Shezeh, when we say Ze, Hu Inyan Mare Be'etzboi V'Aimer Ze. Ze, showing with your finger, and says this. Whether it's Ze or Zois, she gamkin al derech b'chinas Ze, similar to Ze. Elo shezois b'chinas Nukva. This is the level of Nukva. So, while Ze is a Lashon Nekeva, Zois is Nukva. So it's also the level of malchus. So that level of ze or zois, the feminine, is malchus, but it's malchus kemoi shubatzilus. That's still Atzilus. So that's still the level of ze. So it's also malchus, but it's malchus and Atzilus. B'chinas koyu, b'chinas hamalchus, but that is the level of malchus as it shayches to bia ubefrat kamoishi bislabeshes bibia, especially as it already dresses up in bia, is bechinas kidmuseinu, the level of like our image, which means it's not the ze, it's kidmuseinu. You're seeing like the image, and therefore that's the lower level to come down from Aleph to Yud to Koy. V'zehu inyan eicha yeshba badod. Shabadod ubchinas yachid shalamaylu gam b'chinas echad. Badod alone is the level like Yachid. We're saying Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad, which is not one can have a second one. Yachid means only. Badod is like Yachid. Shabadod b'chinas yachid shalamaylu gam b'chinas echad. Ki ha'alef dekan, because when we're talking about the aleph, one, now there could be one that has a two, a three, but over here the aleph is alone. It's nothing else. It's not a counted one. It's it's only because aleph dekan of ayeka or of eicha, who echad vein sheni gam ben ve'ach ein lo. It's like the pasuk says, it's one. There's no second. There's no son, no brother. It's just alone, all by itself, as the pasuk in Koheles says. So this is the meaning over here of badot. Nothing. There's nothing. It's alone, which is bechinas atik she'en bo yischalkus klal. This is the level of pnimis hakesed, the level of atik, which there's no division. It's yachid. It's badot, all alone. Kidu beKabbalah, as known in the Kabbalah. Shezivug maduman, that the mating of the masculine, mayim d'churim, or mayim nukvim, the feminine, the waters of the masculine, the water of the feminine, the zocher and nekeva, sheba'atik u'minei. It's from within itself. There's no two separation. There's only one. So it's in itself. Hine la'osid lavoi. So in the future to come, yumshach gam b'chinas bodot begilu lamato b'yashvus. So also, this level of bodot, the level of atik, will come down openly below b'yashvus. So the aleph, which is the bodot, which is atik, will come down to the yud, to the koi, and it'll be yoshva to settle down b'yashvus.